Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the Chris Voss Show.com. Hey, we're coming in here with another versus comparison. This is going to be really cool between two phones. The new AT&T HTC One M8 versus the Apple iPhone 5S. We're going to put these two head-to-head against them. For the HTC One M8, you can go to AT&T.com. It's AT&T.com. Check out all the phones from them with the fastest download and upload speeds. Thanks to them for sharing the M8 HTC One with us. So, we're going to battle these out and compare them and the cameras and tell you which one we think wins. Be sure to stay tuned till the end. And so, what we have here is the HTC One M8 is a new edition or new version of the HTC One series that is very successful for the HTC folks. And of course, the iPhone 5S is very successful, the latest rendition from Apple. So, between the two of these devices, let's kind of take a look at how they break down and how they interact with each other. The HTC One M8 comes in a height of 5.76 inches, 2.78 in width, and 0.37 inches in thickness with a 5.64 ounce weight. It's a good feeling phone, feels very nice in the hand, very comfortable, it has a very ergonomic feel to it, has that beautiful aluminum back that's very pretty and very comfortable and sleek in its design. With the iPhone 5S, you're looking at 4.87 in height, much shorter of course, 2.31 inches in width, and 0.30 inches in thickness. The weight on it is 3.95 ounces. One of the major factors here over form, size, and everything else is, of course, the screen size. The display on the HTC comes in at 5 inches and 1080p full resolution in pixels. The pixel density is pretty awesome, especially compared to the HTC Original One. It was 441 ppi that's on the new M8. Very freaking awesome. With the Apple iPhone 5S, it still has the small screen, 4 inches, so 1 inch smaller, 640 by 1136 pixels, and 326 ppi coming in at. Both are well-built phones and definitely worth the money that you're going to spend on them. For the HTC, it's got a front-facing speaker, of course, on it, a front-facing microphone, and a camera eye. On the bottom, you've got the capacitive screen of the back button, home button, recent apps button. And you've got the favorite that everyone likes, the boom sound, the 2 stereo speakers coming right at your face. Makes it very enjoyable to watch video and music. On the iPhone, you've got your front-facing camera, sensor, and speaker, and of course your home button that's important to take and have. On the HTC M8, you've got your dual cameras on the back, lenses there. One is available so that you can do dual camera front and back recording at the same time. You've also got your flash LED, kind of a dual flash there if you will. Same thing with the dual flash on the Apple iPhone 5S. A small microphone hole and a camera eye across the back in the build of them. Inside the guts of the HTC One 8, you have the very latest chip, the Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 quad-core 2.3 gigahertz with 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of built-in storage, and you can expand the memory all the way up to 128 gigabytes. With the Apple iPhone 5S, you're looking at Apple A7 64-bit architecture with a 1.3 gigahertz dual core, 1 gigabytes of RAM, and 16 gigabytes of storage. And of course, you can buy up the storage if you want to. Okay, so let's take a look on the outside of both these devices. On the HTC One, you've got your power button, a microphone hole, and an IR blaster that's built into that plastic top. It looks really nice and feels comfortable. The iPhone 5S, of course, the power button on the top. Down the left-hand side of the iPhone 5S, you've got your mute switch, your volume buttons, and then the SIM card tray on the HTC M8. Along the bottom of the iPhone 5S, you've got your earphone jack, your speakers, your charge sync area. With the M8, you've got your charge sync area and the earphone jack. Along the iPhone 5S, you've got your SIM card tray on the right, and on the top area, you've got your volume rocker button and a place where you can insert a micro SD card with expandable memory up to 128 gigabytes. Wow, on the M8. Okay, so everyone seems to be cheating with the Geekbench 3 scores and benchmarking scores and the benchmarking things. Most companies now are coming out and just admitting it's a fact of norm. So we're going to present them to you, and you can do with them what you will. 895 single-core score and 2385 multi-core score on the M8 versus 1413 single-core score and 2548 multi-core score on the iPhone 5S. Do with that information what you will. We just present it to you and let you decide. One of the big differences between both these devices is their OS systems. You have the Android OS and you have the iOS from Apple. With the Android M8, you now have some really cool features. You can double tap the screen in standby mode to pull it out of standby. In standby mode, you can swipe down from the top to make a call very quickly. And in standby mode, you can swipe from left to right to open up the highlights news section they put in. HTC has improved the highlights section that was kind of annoying to some people, including myself, where they made it so that the button bars like that you mainly need, your calling button and whatever buttons you program into them can be on the face of highlights, so you don't have to swipe to get out of it. You can immediately start doing whatever. Basically runs in the background of the screen. And of course you can get into your other things. It's got, of course, a lot of the stuff that was in the original OS from them, and it's very simple and easy to use. And of course you can add widgets and everything that you can't with the OS from the iOS Apple. With Apple, they've got, of course, their version. You've got your drop-down notifications menu, like you saw in the M8 as we go by. You've got your quick tab menus they copied from Android recently. You can swipe through, of course, your things, and then, of course, you have the home button to get into. You can, of course, see the settings where you have full control over the phone and what you can do, much like you can with Android, just really kind of set up in a different sort of way between the two of them. Both are really good phones. There's NFC technology, of course, on the M8, which there is not on the iOS. A lot of speakers and different things are coming out with NFC technology on them, so it's becoming very popular. Okay, so both these units are great devices. Let's take a look at the cameras on both these units. Now, the camera on the HTC One is a very good camera. In fact, it surprised me with the front-facing camera that it has on it. It actually has a front-facing camera of 5 megapixels that is ultra clear and very sharp. The dual camera, where you can record front and back simultaneously and photos and stuff, is pretty awesome. You can adjust the size of it, and you basically see front and back going on at the same time. Very cool. Now, it has the 4 megapixel ultra pixels dual camera. It's up to you to decide what you think about that. And it's got a camcorder at 1080p HD 60 frames per second, which is pretty freaking awesome. On the Apple iPhone 5S, you're at 8 megapixels with basically 1080p at 30 frames per second max with a 1.2 front-facing megapixel camera on it. So you can see here that on the HTC 8 there's a lot of really cool gadgets, dealios, and different stuff that goes on. You can switch between the Zoe camera, which can take different video things, and you can switch between the camera, panoramic, all that sort of good stuff. One thing that did disappoint me is this has the latest Qualcomm chips in it that will allow it to go to 4K video. For some reason, the HTC One people did not allow it to do so, and they restricted the chip where it only goes up to 1080p at 60 frames per second, which is good, but it's not great. Other phones that have this chip on it right now that have come to market have 4K recording on it. So I'm not really sure why they did that, but it's definitely a feature factor that I wish they put on the M8, but it's up to you to decide what to do there. You, of course, have the customization that you have with most Android phones. Now, with the iPhone 5S, you're looking at, you can swipe between photo, square, panorama, video mode, and some different modes. This is fairly simple features that they have here. Slow-mo that you have up to 120 frames per second. You can, of course, add on different filters, if you will, when you want to do the phone things. That's pretty much it with the iPhone 5S and how the cameras take and work. On comparing the photos that both these devices take, we'll do that on a separate view. Most people can't seem to, even when we compare the photos, really decide which ones are better, and the argument becomes pretty nullified. So we have the AT&T HTC One M8 versus the Apple iPhone 5S versus comparison. It's up to you to decide which one you like better. I, of course, am a pretty big Android fan, and I like lots of features to my phones, so I go with the Android. You can go to AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. Tell them Chris Voss sent you. Chris Voss tested, Chris Voss approved. AT&T with the fastest download upload speeds. Thanks to them for sharing the phones with us all the time so we can bring these reviews to you. Watch for more of our versus comparisons reviews, and be sure to check into the chrisvossshow.com. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a like. Hi folks, thanks for watching our video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. You want to subscribe and tell your friends so that we can keep bringing all this great content. Mobile phones, gadgets, you can see all the different phones we reviewed over the past year or two. Okay, so did you subscribe already? Be sure to tell your friends and subscribe. I'll wait. Oh crap, one of these phones is ringing. Someone answer that? Subscribe already.